Right, this is like a motocross track walk where you think, yeah, this one's double, triple, single, and outside, inside. But I've never been here before, and we have like a lot of talking about breakpoints. Mate, it's fast and it's got camber.
Yes,
Must.
I see very tight.
It's tight, but it's not first gear, mate.
You don't think?
No. There's a lot of second gear corners. Second gear, 100%.
Okay.
Just you let me do the riding, okay?
Okay.
The opportunity is there to go out and try and win. We still got to do it, but how we managed the middle part of the season after lockdown has been incredible.
I didn't think we were going to get to this point earlier in the season, that we were going to have 8 rounds, we were going to have a full championship more or less, and it's been a hell of a ride through 2020 for everyone.
Then we had a huge break, longer than the winter break, but then we started racing again. We actually got a full season, and Jonathan said yesterday he actually liked the intensity in the back-to-backs and so on. He felt like he could keep his concentration. Did anybody think we'd ever end up going back to Estoril? Well, it probably took something like this for this to happen, just because it's in Iberia, and it's actually been great.
Talk about packing a lot into a short period of time. That was as concentrated a season as we've ever known.
It's been amazing. I've never seen a season like it.
The opening race of the 2020 Motul FIM Superbike World Championship campaign comes from Phillip Island.
Now, looking back on Phillip Island, you know how I felt after the race was so disappointed to crash out of the first race and lose so many points with a mistake was not great.
Lights out and away we go on 2020. Great start from Jonathan Rea from P3 on the grid. Drama for Rea. Jonathan Rea trying to find his way back into the top positions is now out of the race here at the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. Nothing to separate the top 4. Over the line, it's close for second position. Rea, Razgatlioglu, Redding. Welcome to World SBK in 2020.
Coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
The coronavirus pandemic.
Coronavirus.
The coronavirus outbreak in Europe is rapidly intensifying.
But we went into lockdown. If I could have put a revised schedule together, I would have had Donington, Assen, Qatar, Argentina, Imola. A double header at Aragon was like Ducati's stomping ground. I've never been fast, like super fast in Aragon.
Finally, World Superbikes is back in action, and that also means finally Gordon Ritchie's back on the podcast.
As weird as you like, with no fans, the racing was fantastic. It really was.
Almost 4 months since that incredible weekend in Phillip Island. Racing is finally poised for a return.
How we managed the middle part of the season after lockdown has been incredible.
It's been a long wait, but we are racing once again in 2020. Jonathan Rea is hot away. He gets the whole shot. Here comes Redding down the inside of Rea into turn number 6, stands him up.
When Dorna and SBK announced the new rescheduled championship, I wasn't confident with the races because a lot of my favourite tracks weren't on that.
Redding takes it by over a second in the end from Jonathan Rea. It's 3 out of 3 for Jonathan Rea.
Pole position, 3 wins, 3 fastest laps. Weekends don't get much better than that for the 5-time world champion.
We went to some circuits where we weren't expecting to win races, and we did.
Jonathan Rea, who takes the lead of the World Championship here in Motorland Aragon.
Pick up that win. He wouldn't have expected that in the feature length race.
5 of the last 6 wins, and that's more like it for Jonathan Rea.
Yeah, exactly. And Rea finding his form just whenever he needs it.
Every assumption I made about this weekend was proved completely wrong.
It really was an action-packed weekend, but it was also a drenched weekend.
I've never been to Magnucur, although it rains. I've never been there when it just rained from Friday morning all the way through to Sunday. And
I think the unknowns that were thrown in, the brand new surface and a tyre, threw in enough variables to confuse even Perry Reba's top world-class crew in the Kawasaki racing team bit.
that was strange because I don't like doing laps in the rain. I'm okay in them conditions, but It's so easy to make a mistake. There's so many things can go wrong in the wet, and it was proper wet. I mean, you were aquaplaning going down the back straight. It was that wet.
So incredible to watch on a bike. I sit there and I watch him, and I just love it. I just like seeing what he does and the decisions he makes. He never really seems to make a bad one.
In race 2 of the weekend, I actually joked with my guys that it's going to dry out. I joked that it was going to be a flag to flag, you know. It might be dry, not dry, but it's going to be a flag to flag race if I don't start on slicks, I'll tell you that. I hadn't rode the bike in them conditions all weekend.
Forget everything, because this condition we never had.
The condition is how it is. Will be same for everybody.
The Iceman, Mr. Ray, and his team didn't get it right in that final race.
I could tell from the first lap that I was in trouble, you know. I came out of, T5, that Adelaide hairpin, and I just had so much wheel spin.
Johnny Ray just had no grip, no side grip, edge grip. It looked like in the last race of the weekend, race 3 there.
It was one of them where I could feel Loris coming. Loris came, he passed me.
Here goes Loris Baz into the right-hander there, cuts his way past the championship leader. Jonathan Ray is relegated backwards. Maybe, just maybe, this championship fight might go to Estoril.
Then Chaz came and he passed me.
Davies has thundered down the inside, and Ray is forced back down to 4th position.
I was just there fighting like hell, front sliding, rear sliding.
He did the smart thing, though. I mean, typical Johnny Ray. I mean, he tried to do everything he could to catch Chaz that last lap, but it wasn't to be.
Scott Redding wins in Manicourt and keeps the title fight alive. Redding takes the checkered flag in race 2. Jonathan Ray is outside of the podium positions. It might well be race 1 in Estoril, but it's not going to be race 2 in Manicourt.
It's going to be in Portugal. He did fantastic, Dio.
Just as you think it's gone, bang, Redding's back again.
Good effort, mate, good effort.
I would have put the mortgage on him stitching it up at one of his favourite tracks this weekend.
Believe me, be proud of yourself. We all thinking he's going to do it, he's going to do it.
If I pass Chaz, was done?
Yes, but no, don't worry. Fantastic, Dio. Believe me.
Honestly, it's better to do it there.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is that we actually will go the final round now. Nothing is quite decided yet.
It's a strange feeling.
Don't know, Johnny. We will check, but anyway.
Were you spinning a lot exit 5 and just not going forward, or?
I got to spin everywhere. I was even top gear before I got to the first king.
0 traction at exit 5. Everywhere else I felt okay. 3 out. 3 out's okay. 8? Did you have any problems getting into 8? Oh my god. No, you? Yeah. I should have done that. Was it? Oh, I didn't even think of that. To be honest, I didn't expect anything. It's with weather conditions and Manicourt, expect the unexpected, and fortunately not the podium that was the target, but yeah, move on. I could see how desperate he was to win, so I kind of was like, yeah, you can have this race, It's more about being clever, and if we can do that, then we should get it done.
When you lump in his talent, his ability to listen to Pierre Riba, who I think is a huge part of it. In those moments when Riba says to Johnny, this is the bike you got, man, go ride it. And he goes, okay, I'll go do that.
That is a Motor Grand Prix level centre of excellence and expertise in a superbike paddock, as we all know.
From the ability of managing a championship, I think if you look at it as an entire package, I do think he's better than Carl Fogarty.
Whenever push comes to shove, he's got that extra level compared to some of the other riders.
To adapt to changing conditions and so on is huge. His experience is huge. Let's not downplay that. But he's always shown that same kind of will to win character. Johnny seems to be able to take it to the limit and just stay there.
How's the week going for you?
Aye, good. I've been, I'm literally just dropping a YouTube video now on my channel that just been cycling and doing bits and bobs, yeah.
You're on the brink of a 6th world title. Can you sum up just what that means to you?
I only have to finish 12th, I think, to wrap up the championship, but it's still, I've got to go out and do that. So until that point, I don't want to think about the consequences.
We're all supporting you from the TV back home here.
Thank you. Cheers, Ruth.
Okay, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
See you later.
Of course, it's still very much advantage Jonathan Rea, but, you know, anything can happen now, can't it?
99.9% going to be Jonathan's championship, but it didn't get done at Magny-Cours, which he's done, I think, the last 3 years in a row.
This is a new track, so we talk more about the track, but generally it's just a chance to get together. No way.
No way.
It's the bridge. It's the bridge.
What is here? If you break here, you go straight.
But they should put 250.
Yeah.
They should put a 250.
This track?
Because it's new and fresh, there's a lot of things to look out for, how the curbs are. Mate, it's fast and it's got camber.
Yeah, maybe.
Must.
I see very tight.
It's tight, but it's not first gear, mate.
You don't think?
No.
This is, I'm sure here you already
Fourth.
You already fourth gear.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Fourth gear is four. Under the bridge and bump.
It's full gas. There's a lot of things to this track, eh? There's a lot of. It's one of them. I feel like I'm back walking a motocross track when you're walking it with your mates. And I'm going to triple this and think, yeah, this one's double, triple, single, and outside, inside. There's a lot of second gear corners.
A lot of riders saying, I'm still trying to figure out whether this corner is first gear or second gear. So into turn one, they still hadn't fully figured out their shift pattern.
This is second gear, 100%. Okay. Just you let me do the riding, okay?
Okay. No, I mean.
I don't think there's been a rider that's come into the championship with as much expectation as Redding did this year. I think everyone sort of expected him to win races, expected him to be the big championship rival to Jonathan Rea, and he's been able to live up to most of that hype.
Did we really expect Scott Redding to come in and beat Jonathan Rea over a year? Nobody did.
What he's found is that Jonathan is quite a tough nut to crack.
It was blindingly obvious. You did not have to be Nostradamus to say that, yeah, Scott Redding is going to win races, for sure. But can he beat Rea over a season?
He's a very clean rider, so I respect that a lot. Can fight very hard, but very clean, and that's great if you want to battle with someone for a championship.
And I think he's also found that the Ducati at this level has also got a few foibles.
Nobody can tell us how good that Kawasaki is.
He does not have the fastest bike as he used to. He has in the past, but he doesn't anymore.
You know, is it the best bike out there? Didn't look like it this weekend.
You see, I'm struggling the first 50 metres.
I used the X in the first two and it felt quite good.
I used it in the last one and it felt...
Yeah, on the edge, but then more laps I did because it felt quite good till the end. Went back out on it.
Like my first lap out, I almost crashed.
Sliding?
Yeah.
Entry, or?
No, exit. Terrible. Like in between gears everywhere. I don't know, like to use first or second or what to do.
I think a lot of people like that.
Yeah, because Alex is completely different to me, and but I feel good, but I haven't tried using the other gears. So. Sleep well, boys, or not? What's early? Yeah, same. Can't believe it's October. It's nuts.
Got it past the middle of October.
We went close to November now.
Clock's go back.
Is that every year? Don't fucking laugh at me. What I mean is, because you know you get leap years and stuff, does it change? Like, can I put it in my brain now that 28th of October is the day the clocks go back?
So
does it always go back on a Saturday night?
Late for work, early
Always
for work,
the last
etc.
weekend of October.
October, yeah.
So it's not always the 28th?
No.
See you guys, fuck you. Just the nerves today, boys.
Bimble.
Bimble.
Bimble. As if you bimble. They are.
Bimble? I'm not going for Bimble. No. I'm gonna try.
I feel it's only gonna be good. Because most of the time we know we...
What tyre do you use this morning? Because it's going to be freezing on track.
RC0.
Really?
No.
We got to free practice too, and that's whenever teams were then able to assess the data from the first 50-minute practice session, move on, and try and improve the bike. So you get to free practice 3 where you're confirming everything that happened on Friday. And then you go into the Super Pole session, and I tell you what, it was just chaos.
Oh, Scott Redding down at what looks like it could be turn 5 there. And Jonathan Rea down as well.
My oh my, what on earth is happening with 3 riders already down in the opening minutes of Super Pole?
When Redding went down, then Ray, I think there was 5 riders all in, went down. It was like, wow, what is going on? We honestly thought at one stage there was something on the track. There had to be, because so many people were falling off in funny places.
No, I also I expect the red flags after some. Oh, it was Redding that crashed.
Yes, yeah. Big one. Yeah, big one.
There's no way we can take the other bike, eh?
No, we have to prevent the other one.
But we can't take it in this session. I didn't put together a good lap, and then all of a sudden, I think the tyres just cooled down a little bit because I was cruising around that last sector, and then entered T2 with a lot of power and lost the front. My mistake.
I seem okay. That's the most important.
Yeah.
No worries.
We honestly thought at one stage there was something on the track. There had to be, because so many people were falling off in funny places. It wasn't like all one corner. We just thought, well, there must be something, one little thin smear of something down there. It wasn't. I think it was just nerves.
Muy bien. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
A lot of riders just pushed a bit too hard. They were trying to, basically, they've spent 3 sessions trying to get their feet under the table, and then this was whenever it was time to start pushing on. And he just said, you know what, a track like this, you actually need a lot of experience around here to really be able to push.
Oh, that gravy, it's like exactly like the gravy I used to have at school. My chips. Gravy chip, mate. Aye, gravy chip.
The Kawasaki again has got different, even though it's across the frame 4-cylinder. All the bike's characteristics are being thrown up here.
You think, have we ever qualified 50?
Never.
Redding is starting from last. This means.
Yeah, but I don't want to think about the championship. I want to think about doing a good job in the race.
Okay. Then, what do you want to do?
Redding will be starting from the very back. Jonathan Rea from P15. The gap between them is 59 points. If it's 62 at the end of this one, then Jonathan Rea is world champion.
That's going to be the real task now for the number 1 Kawasaki, because this morning's Super Pole session would have been a real wake-up call for him about how quickly things can go wrong.
Some different feeling, or?
I know there's only 13 laps on the tyre, but going through the fast right, it's losing a lot of traction.
But braking feeling, entry corner 6, 7.
Not bad.
Can be one of the best races of the year. 3 Yamahas, 2 Ducatis and 1 Kawasaki. All with a really strong speed. I think Toprak is the best, but let's see.
For the first time in 27 years. Razgatlioglu, who's got the advantage. Rea fighting his way through the field quite nicely, is already up into 8th position.
Take a big gap. Come on, Johnny.
And Jonathan Rea is up to 7th place.
Business as usual for Jonathan Rea, able to make that progress nice and early.
Rea swarming down the inside. He's going to pass 2 in 1 manoeuvre into turn 1. He's got through on Lowe's. He's got through on Vandermark as well. But the man on a mission is Jonathan Rea. 10 places already gained.
Guys, this is amazing, mate.
Even so, Jonathan Rea in the slipstream is able to come through into turn number 1. So the move is made. Rea's up to 4th.
Another wall.
Side of Michael Ruben Rinaldi. Bold into turn 9 from Jonathan Rea. This is a champion's performance. But Jonathan Rea comes out of the final turn to be confirmed world champion in 2020. The celebrations can begin. Rea has done it for a 6th year in a row. Can you believe it? It is with a champion's ride from 15th on the grid, carving his way into the podium places.
If you want to be a champion, It's that consistency of being there on the box every weekend.
Once again, Jonathan Rea is your 2020 World Champion. 11 wins for Jonathan Rea. It's been 17 podiums. He continues to amass the points and the stats. He is your 2020 World Champion.
Good job, mate. We did it again, Theo, again. The first 5 laps I really enjoyed, really. You makes me mad, Theo. Fucking well done.
Too much vamos.
Look.
Good job, mate. Good year. Really good year. Not bad that, mate, eh? Flip me. First lap was banging. I think I only started breathing about lap 3 or 4. Couldn't believe it. I went down the inside, I actually thought, why is everyone braking so early? Because I felt I could stop, and then I parked on the apex, perfect.
Probably the most competitive field I can ever think of in World Superbike history, front to back. I definitely had an expectation that this could be the beginning of the end for Rea, but this calendar really set up a big challenge for Rea, where it was a case of you take away his best tracks. You take away Imola, you take away Donington, you take away Qatar, you take away Aston. Places where of those 4 rounds, he would have expected to win 8 or 9 races. You take away big point scoring rides, and it was going to be a massive challenge for him. And this was going to be a season that was really going to test Kawasaki. And instead of that, they've been able to adapt their bike. They've been able to make a big step forward. And
I think the whole Kawasaki package, Jonathan, the team, everything, demonstrated this year was their ability to run at a consistently high level every session all the time, more than they've ever done any other previous season, especially given exactly what you said about all the tracks weren't necessarily their best ones.
When you look at what's going into Superbike for 2021, the motivation will still be there. He's going to have somewhat of a new bike, it seems like. Van der Mark's going to BMW. There's some moving seats going around. There's some things happening that I think will continue to motivate him as a rider. On a very strange World Superbike season with a shortened year of 7 rounds, 2021 is going to be a fun season to watch. 6 in a row now with Kawasaki, with the same team, with the same crew. I mean, is Johnny Rea the best World Superbike rider you've ever seen?
Yes.
At least we tried for a few laps. Eh?